At the T-minus 3-minute mark, tape recorders on board the spacecraft were turned on. These recorders record both voice and data. We have ignition sequence start. The engine's now building up to 7.7 million pounds of thrust. We have a launch commit and we have a liftoff. Moving back. The Saturn V lifting off with power.
This is WOMM LP operating out of Burlington, Vermont, 105.9 The Radiator. Good evening, it's The Rocket Shop. I'm your host, Tom Proctor, and with me tonight is Leddy Moss. Hello, guys.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks
How
for
we
having
doing?
us.
Thank you for coming in. Really excited to hear you. Our guests last week were very nice about you. So you've come highly recommended.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
this really set the bar high for you, unfortunately.
That's always a recipe for disaster. But here we go. That's awesome.
Well, we
Love
like
to hear
kicking it off with a song. So what have you got for us?
This first song is called Simple Living. It's about feeling bad about growing apart from your friends. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Down the street and we were
Leddy Moss kicking us off there with Simple Living. All right, so you guys are a songwriting duo. So how did you find each other?
I met James through a mutual friend, and he got us together to jam at Leddy Beach in Burlington. And it was kind of like iffy at first, but then we kind of started riffing songs together and kind of just really became friends with each other.
Yeah, I remember when we first planned it, I specifically prepped a bunch of easy covers for us to do. And then he came and he's like, I actually have some originals. And I was like, come on, dude. But they were great, so here we are.
So when you say iffy at first, you're referring to the fact that he brought a few of his originals. When did you realize it kind of clicked, though? Because obviously it may be a bit difficult at first, but there must have been a moment where you're like, oh, wait a second, here we go.
For me, it's just I've tried to work with other people in the past, and it's always the ego and the attitude that gets in the way, and James is such a lovely guy, so I knew he played electric guitar, and I wanted lead guitar rather, and I wanted him to come join me and flesh out my songs.
Yeah, I'm lovely for now until give it a little more time, and then the honeymoon stage will end.
Right, when you guys hit the big time.
Exactly. Be like, I got time to make some changes.
Traveling in different tour buses. Yeah.
Right.
And you mentioned that you kind of had like an idea then that you wanted a specific sort of player, specific some person. Is this how you envisioned it, or did you imagine like a full band?
I didn't really know at all. I had been doing solo stuff for a long time with most of the same songs, some other songs, and I kind of just took it as far as I could take it, and I was like, I need more people with me to like flesh these songs out and make them better. So I was like, James, like, can you dive into the deep end with me and we can figure it out together? Do you have
head first? Just dive right in. No, I think we have done as good as a job as we can with fleshing out just two fellows working through mostly acoustic. We just implemented the electric for the first time live this past weekend, and we're now working with a drummer and a bass as of like a couple days ago. So we're slowly making the transition and trying to take less ownership of the song and let other people, find their voice in what we already have. So it's been great. Based
on this trajectory, you should have like a 30-piece band by next year.
Yeah, right.
Exactly, yeah. We're trying to get as many people as possible. If anyone's looking to play triangle, if you guys
maracas.
Yeah, come join the club.
Xylophone. Turn it into a marching band or something. Did you have many musician dates previously, Alex? Was this a long line of like bad like musician dates happening, and then this one it finally clicked, or yeah?
Not in particular. Like, I worked with my brother for a while. I worked with my friends. They all kind of got in their own way, and I got in my own way. And everybody, since I moved up to Burlington, who I met, was all working on their own stuff. So I didn't feel like it was my place to say, hey, come work with me. Nor did I didn't feel confident enough to do that. But James kind of was forthcoming about, I really just like playing lead guitar. And he was super cool. So
perfect.
It gave me the courage.
And I'm assuming the band name is named after that first place that you met Leddy. Where's it Moss? Just because it sounds like it's a good.
Well, I now live. The previous owners of the apartment I'm living in, they called it the Moss House.
Okay.
So we just thought, and we always practice there. So like, all right, Leddy Moss, bing bang boom.
Is it called the Moss House for a particular reason?
No, and that's a very popular question. I should think of a funny answer, like we got fungus, we got moss, it's all growing, which is not very appealing. But no, I don't. I should ask them. I kind of just liked it, and I was like, Moss House it is.
The Moss House.
Yep.
There we go. So do you two now write together? Is this how this works?
Yeah. So originally it was literally Lance just like, I have these songs, he'll play it, and then he'll record it on his phone with like, you'd think it was recorded on a brick, like the worst quality ever. And then I would just write lead parts over it, and then I would go to him and be like, what do you think, this and that? And I feel like that was the trial through fire, like, okay, can he like hang? And now it's more of a collaborative process, and trying to integrate my like kind of punk emo side with Lance's wholesome folk
Right.
background.
And it took a good 6 months just learning how to write with each other. And that's not what we intended to do, but looking back, we needed that time to learn how to write with each other, because now I can bring a song and he knows what I'm trying to say with that song. So it's a lot more collaborative. And now James is bringing songs to the table as well, and I can do my best to keep up.
Lance, have you always been a songwriter, or has this been something that you've been doing since a young age?
I've always loved music, and I picked up the guitar, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, and was really bad at it. And I just kept trying, and eventually started writing songs. And I always had this crazy idea that I wanted to be in a band, so I just kept pushing.
Looks like it's happening.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to be called Leddy Moss if you bring on more people, or do you have to change your name every time someone else gets introduced?
That's the first thing, like, y'all better roll with the Moss. Son. You're rolling with the Moss crew now. Yeah, no,
Right.
we're not budging on Leddy Moss.
How does the songwriting editing go? You say you kind of bring songs to each other. How attached are you to the songs that you bring to your fellow band member, or how malleable are these songs when you kind of first introduce them?
Yeah, it's a constant state of learning to let go of your pride and just hear out what the other person has to say. But sometimes it'll be James will write a part and bring it to me, and I'll say, I really like these parts. Maybe we can branch off on them and make them more fleshed out. Or James, I'll just play the chord progression and James will riff over it, and then I'll stop him and be like, that was really good. He didn't even realize that's what he was going for, but then we kind of like build from there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have no real, like, they come and go, like, either guitar parts or lyrics, and that's the fun part of being, like, not the primary, like, lyric writer. Especially, music is really new to my life. I've been playing guitar for, like, exactly 3 years, so, like, any opportunity...
Today, exactly?
About, like, a month ago.
Okay.
So, 3 years and a month.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, exactly. But, so I'm pretty, like, don't have much ownership, and I think it's much easier with guitar parts. Like, if you know the chords, you know the scales, like, all right, I can probably come up with something else, but, like, if there's a lyric that really sticks to you, I can imagine, like, it's hard to give up. So I totally understand his...
Yeah, I can imagine. It's kind of like your baby in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're being very vulnerable, putting it in front of someone else, and then, they change it around a little bit.
That was
and you're
lame.
like,
Certainly.
do you guys tend to write about the same things? Because you mentioned in your bio that you write introspective lyrics. Is that the sort of thing you both kind of bring in, or do you kind of find yourselves writing about very different things?
That's a great question.
I think there's a thread that ties it all together, which is kind of introspective thoughts and resilience and trying to better ourselves. But I find that I write more about my insecurities and self-improvement. And
I write about just girls. It's always what it is broken hearts, and it always comes back to that. So it's good that there's the both of us, because I would have not a very long catalog.
it's a good balance, because I'm in a long-term relationship, and that's something very sacred to me. I'm not thinking about writing about,
Oh, so you wouldn't ever write about your relationship? Is that's something that's like verboten to you? It's too many people to be able to hear it and then, cast aspersions or whatever.
I do, and I have, and it's all positive. There's not any, it's great, but it's not the most like overly interesting thing to talk about in a song. Rather than
She's gonna hear this and be like, "What
breakup.
did you say? I'm not interesting. What?"
But no, that's always gonna come off.
You can't see him, but he's getting red.
Do you then gravitate to things in your life that are, I don't know, a bit more difficult for you then? Is that the sort of thing that you kind of tend to write about?
Yeah, I guess that's what I was trying to say, is I feel very secure about that part of my life, and I tend to write about my insecurities.
Right. I've talked to a lot of singer-songwriters that certainly use songwriting as a method to therapize themselves, or, kind of talk through with their own kind of id, I guess, some of the the harder things that are happening in their life. Is that the sort of thing that you're trying to do?
Totally. Yeah, I find myself in a lot of the songs, one line will be a negative thought, and the following line will be followed up by a positive thought, talking back and forth to myself.
Mm-hmm.
This sucks, but hey, like, it can get better if you do this. That's what I
You're
do.
kind of giving yourself a pep talk there.
Pretty much. All my songs are just written to pep myself up. It's what I'm realizing talking to you.
And James, you're more about the kind of the heartbreaks, kind of more the classic kind of songwriting.
Oh yeah.
Putting those kind of stories out on the stage, is that something that's kind of is very vulnerable? Is that something you've had any difficulty with singing to people about? Oh, this time
Oh, I
got my
invite
heart
them.
broken.
I invite the person it's about and just look them dead in the eyes.
Right,
No,
right. You
no.
invite them there, stick them right in the center.
No, I think because that is usually just like kind of the spark, and then that's the fun part of writing. Like, you can be as dramatic or not as possible. Like a tiny thing, like it could be like, she didn't text me back. That could be just turn into like a
song.
manifesto of like sadness. But so I think it's usually something along those lines that sparks something, and then it becomes like so far like disconnected from like what actually happened. So it's almost fictional. So I don't get too like hung up on it, but I don't know.
I think it's
we'll see
also
how
a
it goes.
testament of where we're getting our inspiration from, because I really get inspiration from bands like the Avett Brothers, where they're talking about very deep, like almost philosophical type ideas. And James really likes bands like Mom Jeans and what are some other ones we like?
Yeah, that's it. No, I'm kidding. Well, I definitely like I think we wear our influences on on our sleeve. Like if you hear Lance's play without me, it is very folk acoustic, and the second I'm alone, I'll change the guitar tuning and just go buck wild on like weird punk riffs and everything, and
Midwest
somehow
emo.
we meet in the middle, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I think for the most part it's been working. So
I did notice some Midwest emo on your TikTok, and I'll bring that up in a bit. Are you guys very influenced by the places you grew up in? I see you got Charlottesville Marathon T-shirts. I'm assuming Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia.
Yeah, there we go. And with the Midwest emo, I'm thinking Iowa. So.
not quite.
exactly.
I am a New Yorker. I'm from Long Island, New York,
Okay.
which I try not to tell people because there's always this stigma. Like when I drive around with my New York license plate, I'm like, oh no, like they're gonna.
I think
know.
the fact it's Long Island more than anything.
Oh,
else,
absolutely.
really.
Yeah. It's that and Jersey are like the.
Something about growing up in
Red.
like the suburbs, like the deep suburbs, ties us together.
I
Like
see.
that edgy, like Midwest emo feeling of like, gotta get out of this town, is something we both can relate to.
Run off to the Green Mountains of Vermont.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Go hide in the mountains. Yeah.
Well, we'd love to hear another song. So, what you guys got for us?
Cool. This song is called Evergreen. It's the first song that we finished writing together. And yeah, I'm just gonna we'll let it speak for itself.
Yep.
Here it goes. It's Evergreen. 1, 2, 3, 4. I know this old ragged life ain't always what it seems. From the outside looking in, the world is always evergreen. Build your fences and take all the caution that you like. Can't prepare you for the winding rivers or the changing tides. This October breeze is blowing into my old dreams. Throw your caution down and live life like it's evergreen. Drive the highway down beneath that big blue mountain sky. Letting go of all the reasons that you ever worried why. Shake the frost and batten down the hatches that you've made. Winter's long and that cold wind will break you if you hesitate. This October breeze is blowing into my old dreams. Throw your caution down and live life like it's evergreen. Time is such a pain, and pain is such a bother. Nothing ever goes the way you want it. Wanted something special, special isn't common. Everything it seems to work itself in. Such a pain, and pain is such a bother. Nothing ever goes the way you want it. Wanted something special, special isn't common. Everything it seems to work itself in. Time is such a pain, and pain is such a bother. Nothing ever goes the way you want it. Wanted something special, special isn't common. Everything it seems to work itself in. Time is such a pain, pain is such a bother. Nothing ever goes the way you want it. Wanted something special, special isn't coming. Everything it seems to work itself. And open up to all the perfect mysteries of this world. Love yourself and love your neighbors, even if it hurts. Beat the sunrise every day to hear the morning birds. Learn to compromise and practice everything you learn. This October breeze is blowing into my old dreams. Throw your caution down and live life like it's evergreen.
Evergreen there by Leddy Moss. Now, you guys must have been in the studio at least once, or you got someone with a home studio setup. So, yeah, you've got a few singles out on Spotify right now. Tell us a little bit about the recording process there.
Totally. Yeah. We I went into the studio last summer with Future Fields Recording Studio and Tank Recording Studio, and recorded a few of my songs before James and I started working together. And once we started working together, we knew it was going to be a long road, so we thought, might as well just put those songs out. We can always take them down later, but they're there for a little taste of if anyone wants to listen to us before we have our new and improved songs out.
And Lance, what was the kind of impetus for you to kind of put something down, go into a recording studio and put something down? Where were you like, okay, I'm going to do this for me, I'm doing this for my family, or, you know, what was the kind of like the reasoning behind you wanting to like go and do this?
Totally. I just love listening to music, and I love observing the progression of different artist bodies of work. And I don't think it was for anyone or for any particular person. I just really wanted to start doing it. And kind of see where it took me, and I learned a lot. And each time we go in the recording studio, we get a little bit better, learn a little bit more about what we want out of that session.
Are you guys planning on going into the recording studio together? Or are you waiting for the full band to get there?
This Saturday is we're going together. This coming Saturday, yeah, we're gonna lay down some. We're gonna start just one song. The first one you all heard, "Simple Living." I think that's a great place to start, and we're really excited to lay down guitar, vocals, and bass, and then our drummer is gonna accompany us. He had a prior commitment, and yeah, he's gonna have to.
I know, right? Although drummers are difficult to find in this town, so I wouldn't upset him too much.
Oh, totally. We are very lucky.
Yeah,
that we found Joe. Shout out to Joe. We wish you were here.
So have you guys played all together yet? Is that something that has happened, like just as a practice kind of thing?
Yeah, we've been practicing together. We haven't played live just yet. Our process was kind of, we had all these songs. We needed to figure out how to finish writing them. So we finished writing them, the two of us, and now we're at the point where we can bring on the low end, the drums and the bass, and that's like a whole new ball game. So learning how to finish the songs with drums and bass as well, and hopefully from there in a couple of months we'll be ready to just go for it.
Have you got like a calendar with like a date and a star around it, and, you know, radio being July 22nd or something? This is when we're gonna do it.
Yeah,
a D-Day
on your August 31st on your day.
There we go, my wedding day.
Yeah,
at my wedding.
I would never torture you like that. But yeah, so we have August 31st, where it's our first. We're trying to do full band setting, and it's, you know, it's hard to expect everyone to be as invested, like, in predominantly Lance's songs, but like some of mine too, like, to get them to be, all right, like, we need to practice like this day, like, and I don't know, like, one thing is the added, like, they're all excited about the songs we're playing and it's great, but I'm trying to instill in them, like, it's so different, like, when you play in front of people, like, it gets so much harder. Like, even the easiest thing is like, what do my hands do? Like, it's like this whole added thing. So I would love for them to get like exposure ASAP, but
reps,
yeah, just to work the nerves.
But yeah, we're playing at, I think it's called City Park, right next to Church Street.
Yeah.
On August 31st, and we're really excited about it.
That's cool. Is that part of a festival, or is what's going on? Is that Jazz Fest?
No, I think the city just puts together acts every other week or so during the summer months, and we're opening for another band. We don't know who it is yet, but
all right,
we're
that's
really
exciting.
excited about it.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, the first time you play, you know, often you can get the yips. It can be very daunting. I've noticed you guys have played. You've got your Radio being under your belt. I think your Venetian Soda Lounge under your belt. What was it like the first time you guys played together in front of an audience?
Oh yeah, we did it at a bar, and it was just our friends who came, and it was so funny. Like, even in this, like, I've gotten much better at, like, if I make a mistake, I'm like, what, just keep going. But I remember, like, the first time, I was like a finger picky song, and I swear to God, like my right hand just stopped functioning. I was like,
up.
well.
I think that was the first time you ever played live in front of
It
people.
was the first song. It was a risky move. I'm like, I got it. And then just my right hand, like you have to be so articulate when you're finger picking, like really loose. And I was so tense. I swear to God, I could have like snapped the guitar neck. I was so, and it was like so low stakes. It was just like a couple like having a nice night out, and I'm like, this is the fight of my life. This is my moment. Like,
They're gonna remember this forever.
yeah, exactly. Like, but
after
Lance did great.
every show we do, like we get in the car and we're like, okay, what do we do differently next time? Like, what do we think went well? What do we think we can improve upon? And that sort of ritual has really helped us get a lot more confident playing in front of people.
All right. And so, when was the last time you guys played? Was it the Venetian Soda Lounge?
Yeah, this past Saturday was the last time we played, and that was fun because it was the first time I broke out the electric, and it is so telling the difference of playing when you're by yourself and like it's nice and quiet, and then the second it's like amped up, it's like this thing is a weapon. Like I could destroy someone's ears. This is so loud. But that was a really fun time because we had 2 hours to just like do covers, like go into the stories of the song. So that was, and it flew by. So that was like really awesome.
2 hours is that's a long set.
I was going to say luckily it seemed like everyone, I mean, who knows what they'll say behind our backs. Like, oh God, get off the stage. But it seemed like we were holding people's attention to some degree.
All right. Well, that's great. I mean, the guys got the charisma, you got the stage presence.
There
So
you
that
go.
always helps. Be able to spin a yarn between the songs.
I was gonna say I gotta start like coming up with jokes or something.
Keep them on my hand.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Sharpie.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we'd love to hear another song.
Yeah.
So what have you got?
We're doing 20-year long day.
Yes.
What do you want to do? I know
Let's do 20 year one day.
that. This song is called 20-Year Long Day, and I wrote it about dealing with passing, which is something that's hard to talk about, but it's something that everyone deals with, and kind of being sad about it, but also kind of living with it, accepting it, and moving on with it. So this song's called 20-Year Long Day. I hope you like it. 1, 2, 3, 4. At the end of a 20-year long day, my legs are tired and I wanna fade away. My dreams are worked and my heart is in a crutch. I wanna sleep but I'm scared of what's to come. We all know what it's like to be afraid. You put in work, but it doesn't always take. And even worse is what's out of your control. Little things always take the greatest toll. On this empty road so long, you think enough of time had gone for me to pick up and move on. The fear inside keeps begging me to stay, and I'm the only one to blame if I still let you slip away. At the end of a 20-year long day, my eyes are tired from the tears that flood my face. My heart is broken and helplessly in love. I'm scared you won't be there when I wake up. And the chapter leave behind a friend. Turn the page and you make it permanent. There comes a time when it's time to write the rest. A life on hold is a story unfinished. I'm lost on this empty road so long. You think enough of time had gone for me to pick up and move on. The fear inside keeps begging me to stay, and I'm the only one to blame if I still let you slip away. I lost on this empty road so long. You think enough of time had gone for me to pick up and move on. Fear inside keeps begging me to stay, and I'm the only one to blame if I still let you slip away. At the end of a 20-year-long day, I wanna sleep and I think that it's okay.
All right, 20-year-long day there by Leddy Moss. So you guys, I did notice you got a TikTok. So tell me, is that something that you feel as a band you need to kind of do in order to gain traction in this kind of day and age? Or do you're just like, you know, whatever, I'm just going to make a TikTok? Or don't think about it too hard.
Pretty much. We're just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. Just trying to do all the things that it seems like successful bands do and see what works.
It seemed like I look at it as an opportunity for more people to see us and hear our stuff. I definitely struggle though with like filming myself talk like top 10 things that like you know like life hacks and all the like trendy stuff. I really struggle to talk, and I teach, so like I think about if one of my students saw me like talking directly into the like they would rip me apart. So I keep it to mostly just guitar
I think you should do the
videos.
other way. You should tell your students that this is your TikTok. They should follow you.
It's going to say
and then-
or else. It's going to be a tough semester, kids. Yeah.
Otherwise, you get marked down. I want
Yeah,
to see likes on every
Yeah.
single TikTok. I want to
Yeah.
see comments.
I need to see
It's a
you
good
at the
idea.
next radio bean
Start
show
doing that.
or else.
Right.
Yeah, do attendance. No, I think it's a great, like, it's really awesome that just folks from around the world, like now I have, like, people I keep seeing commenting, and I'm like, thanks, Olivia from, like, Idaho. Like,
Yeah.
sweet. So
Fantastic.
that's cool. Yeah. But
We have something similar. I think we've because we have podcast on Spotify, and we get some listeners from some really weird places. I think Bob's told me before that someone from Iceland, or
Whoa.
some from I don't know, all sorts of weird and wonderful places. Yeah.
that's awesome.
That's so cool.
So that's kind of interesting. Not that I think they're actually, I don't know, I always feel like maybe it's like a bot farm and they've just accidentally harvested our podcast for some
hey,
reason.
it could be. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Or there's someone in Iceland that genuinely is loving the Rocket Shop, but we'll go with that one.
That's what I believe
Exactly.
in.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Target country is Finland. I want to hit it in Finland.
All right. Yeah, let's do it.
We'll get big in Finland, Bob, I promise you.
In the world, they tell me.
We'll start a campaign. So tell us a little bit about what the next few months looks like for you. As you said, you got your full band playing in August 31st. That's a huge one for you. Are you going to be playing as a duo in the next few weeks? And if so, where are you playing?
I think right now it's time for us to really buckle down and get these songs out. We've been itching to get these songs out since we started working together, and it's kind of just now or never. Like, we got to get these songs out so we can start working on new songs, staying inspired. So we're going in Saturday, busting out hopefully a full song, and in a couple weeks after that, going in for another song, and just keep doing that piecemeal style till hopefully we have a body of work that we're proud enough to share with people.
Are you talking about a full album, LP?
See, we have enough stuff to do. Like, we have quite a lot of songs. It's just like seeing them through and like getting the full, like, what is the vision of a whole album? Like, that sounds fantastic, but then like, do they all need to be like rocking and electric? So I think that's something where long-term goal, that would be fantastic. But right now we're just trying to chew them one at a time.
Right now we're trying to finish one song.
Yeah, start one. Yeah.
I know we're really proud
Keep the
of it.
bar
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
Rather
absolutely.
than
But
putting it up here.
I think the more, like with everything, with playing guitar, like playing live, like the more you do it, like it'll become a well-oiled machine. Like the first time after we played, I'm like, well, that was fun. Like, we're never doing it again. And now, like, you know, we're getting, like, learn from every time. And it's, I think like anything, it'll keep coming as long as we put in get our roll up our sleeves.
You guys seem very focused. You seem very driven. It seems like you guys got a vision.
Oh, yeah.
And also achievable goals for, like, you know, what's coming up next. I mean,
Totally,
that's a good framework to work from.
We're like here, I'm like, and MSG is on our radar.
Well, when you're there, when you're at MSG, I'm hoping for a backstage pass.
Totally, yeah. It's yours. It's yours. We'll sign you up for it.
That's I have to say that to every single band that comes through here.
Mm.
But yeah, we got about time for one more song. So what have you got to play us out with?
What started it all? This is the song Lance brought to Leddy Beach that I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe he's not a complete doofus.
It's called Coconut Beach, and it's about the summer and enjoying yourself, but it's also about, I grew up with some family friends who we would get together and jam and stay up really late into the night, and my friend's dad was always the one who stayed up the latest, and he had such a young spirit, even though he was a little bit older, so that the chorus kind of pays homage to him. So yeah, it's called Coconut Beach. Here we go. Ready, man?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Let's get it. Sand on my feet, smell of the sunscreen, always tethered to my cheeks. Coconut Beach, pineapple smoothie cools me down to fight the heat. It'll be alright if we were cast away from normal times. It would be just fine to bottle up this feeling one more night. And under the sun, I don't remember the last time I laughed so much. Everything's done, nothing to stress about. The moment's finally come, and into the night we sing our favorite songs beside the firelight, feeling the vibes, all of our favorite people right there by our side. Coconut Beach, nowhere I've ever felt more free, feeling the breeze as we have time for one last song. I'm never going cold, 'cause you can find me here all summer long. I'm never growing old as long as we have time for one last song. I'm never growing cold, 'cause you can find me here all summer long. I'm going to bed, I'm staying up late, I'm doing the best that I'm doing today. I'm going to bed, but I'm staying up late, I'm doing the best that I'm doing today.
All right, Leddy Moss playing us out there with Coconut Beach. Guys, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for having us.
What a fun time. Thank you so much.
No
Very
worries.
cool.
Well, catch us next week, or, well, don't catch me next week, catch someone else next week. Abby is back, and we'll be interviewing the R.T. Levine Band. I'll be taking a quick break. But for tonight, this has been WOMMLP operating out Burlington, Vermont, 105.9 The Radiator. It's been The Rocket Show. I've been your host, Tom Proxer, and good night. Woo!
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was so fun. Yeah,
I'm so
thank
glad
you.
you
thank
enjoyed
you.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was